EA Sports coverage of the National Football League takes us to the Queen City of Cincinnati and Paul Brown Stadium right on the banks of the Ohio River. Tonight it's on to Week 4 as we've got a good Thursday night matchup in store between the Miami Dolphins and the Cincinnati Bengals. Fall is in the air, and the NFL season is in full swing, and we're underway here in Week 4. From the 6. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line.
Here we go. 11 coming.
Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And he is going to lose yardage here. Officially a loss of 2 on the first play from scrimmage. Second down.
Here we go.
They'll stay on the ground. Mixon again. And he'll get a couple up to the 29. This defense for the Dolphins, they were terrific last week in the victory over Buffalo.
And one of the key things you always look for when you're evaluating a defense is how opportunistic are they? How many takeaways do they get per game? And how about last week's game? That number, 6. Absolutely phenomenal performance. They were on top of their game right from the first snap.
So now an early 3rd and 10 here on their opening drive. They're passing here, Joe Burrow. This goes out wide from Mixon. And he's going to come up a few yards short of the first. They get him to the ground at the 37. A gain of 8 there on the play. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. So on is the lefty, Kevin Huber, to kick it away for the Bengals here on 4th down. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. And it's taken in at the 9. So a solid punt, but also a nice return there of 14 yards. And it'll be Dolphin football. Tagovailoa and the Dolphins come up 1st and 10 at their own 23. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Open man downfield is Waddle. He's got it. And he'll be taken down, but not before they reach the 50. A very solid gain of 27.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
A first carry now for Chase Edmonds. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards.
Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
Second down and another run with Edmonds. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down. Throwing is Tagovailoa on 3rd down here. Caught by Wilson. And a nice job there defensively. They get him to the ground short of the first, right around the 42. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and that's going to make it 4th down. Here's Thomas Morstead on now to punt it away on 4th down. And he was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. And this will be touched by a member of the kicking team inside the 20, and it's at the 17-yard line. The Bengals drive about to get going. And they come into this one off the loss over the weekend. But you say if you're going to play a Thursday night game, this is the week to do it.
It certainly is because you get right back out there. You don't have time to dwell on things. And look, your game plan is going to be a little more limited, but so is theirs. So that's when you just appeal to your top players. Guys, you make plays in this one, we out-execute them, we can walk away with a win.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Burrow will throw. Got a man open. It's Chase. So the completion good for just 3. And they're going to have a 3rd down. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you. And you know what else you're looking for? Who are the freshest guys coming off of the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often.
Just a gain of 2 there, and it's going to bring up a 4th down. So on 4th down, on comes the left-footed punter, Kevin Huber, to punt it away. This is brought in at the 21. It'll go as a 50-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. They come off a victory over the weekend, but now the quick turnaround here for this Thursday night game. How does that affect how teams like this approach these short turnarounds?
Well, wins and losses always factor into, how you're getting ready for the next game. But equally as important when you have the short turnaround, what is your injury situation? Are you losing key guys? And if so, how well have the backups prepared for this? Because you don't have much time to get them ready. They have to be ready before this week in order to play well in this game.
First carry for Raheem Mostert. And they'll get him down here at about the 42. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. You often say that sort of opens the playbook now, 2nd and short. What do you think, early shot here?
I like where you're going. Obviously, we've been together for a while because you know me. I want to take that shot early and loosen things up.
A good run, got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. Tua going to throw. And he's got his tight end. It's Mike Gesicki. And they move this all the way down to the 9. 33 yards that time.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, Let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great, and what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big gain. He'll swing that out to Edmonds. And he is going to lose yardage here. It'll go as a loss on the play. Not what you need down here. It's going to be second and goal. They fake the handoff. Now Tua. He's got it. Touchdown, Dolphins. Cedric Wilson, his second touchdown on the season. And the Dolphins put the night's first points on the board as they take the early lead. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And that makes the score 7-0. Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. From the 6. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. They're still in search of an initial first down as they come up here 1st and 10. Burrow looking to pass. Trying to get it to Chase, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Jerome Baker. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line. And this, Charles, definitely not what they were wanting to see. Remember, he threw 3 interceptions in the loss last week, and now he gives the ball away again here in the very first quarter.
And you have to think that this was drilled into him all week, too, by his teammates, by his coaching staff. They've told him all week long, we've got to protect the football. They probably crossed that fine line with giving him the right advice and saying it too much, and it turned out that he got into his head a little bit.
And down inside the 35, he goes to the 32-yard line. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. The success there, Charles, coming on the outside of the field, the ground game. Curious to see if that continues as we progress.
Yeah, we often talk about a variety in play calling and usually between run and pass. But in this case, with strictly the run game, you can be creative there as well. Run it inside, run it outside, keep the defense off balance.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Once again, it's Mostert. And he struggles to get a yard here, maybe a yard, down to the 31. When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
Tua looking to throw on 3rd and 2. He's going to take a shot at the end zone. Why not? And that is caught. Touchdown, Miami. Jalen Waddle, 31 yards. And the Dolphins lead this now 13-0 here in the opening quarter of the ball game. The fly route works for the TD Graham.
And you know what the receivers love to say? If we get even with the defender, we're leaving. And that's exactly what he did, all the way into the end zone. And then he was on the business end catching it once he got over the stripe.
Extra point up and good by Sanders. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Morstead, the punter, out to kick it off. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
On 2, ready?
The Bengals drive about to get going. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back, but make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
Here we go.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. Second and 19. Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
And this drive is almost over before it began, thanks to a great defensive effort. Sack on first down, followed by an incompletion. One more good rep, and they get off the field.
Gun.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Now it's Burrow. They'll set up the screen here to Mixon. And he'll be brought down at the 28, and that is well short of the first. They get 12 yards back, but it still leads to a 4th and long.
And that's a play that's not uncommon on 3rd and long, because the offense is just hoping that somehow they can get a guy in space and follow some blockers downfield. Does a pretty nice job there getting a few yards, but he ends up getting stopped before he can get the first down.
And this punt goes out of bounds, and it'll be marked inside the 40. The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here, they could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good what they're seeing and how they're feeling right now. But this is the NFL. How many times have we watched 14-0 leads evaporate and quickly? So how have we seen them combat it? Continue to run your offense, but don't back off at all. Don't start looking at the clock. Don't start thinking about, hey, just take care of the football. Keep attacking. Usually the best way to maintain control.
Throwing quickly to Wilson. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. The quick slant, good for a first down, a gain of 12.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
Ready.
On 1st and 10, it's Mostert. And they'll get him down here at about the 42. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
Second down, here's Mostert again. And some room to work. And they will finally get to him down at the Bengals 8. It's a gain of 35. Well, Raheem Mostert, remember, he established himself as a special teams guy before becoming a good runner, and he's never been one to back away from contact as he's able to run through would-be tacklers there on his way downfield. Here's Mostert. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. He'll get 2 out of that run, and it's going to bring up a 2nd and goal.
The yards may start getting a little tougher to come by down here near the goal line. That's good work defensively there on first down, holding them to a short gain.
Two of their 3 red zone trips so far they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on 2nd and goal. They'll stay on the ground with Mostert. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down.
And that's what I'd like to see out of this defense. A little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them. But they did do a nice job there, forcing a loss on that play.
2 and now, 3rd and goal. Out to the right here to Wilson. And he's able to get this down to the 5-yard line before he's out of bounds. A 4-yard pickup, not enough. 4th down. The kick by Sanders is good, and the Dolphins will add on to their lead. So 3 points there, and they continue to build this first-half lead.
Yeah, every little bit helps, and the more that you can put together drives and start controlling the tempo, controlling possession, finishing with points, the better off you're going to be.
Morstead, the punter, out to kick it off.
On 2.
The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. Not only are they in search of their first score, they're in search of their first down in this ball game as they come up 1st and 10. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. This drive starting off on the right foot, 18 yards. I don't know what this says about me, but I love successful runs up the middle when the blocking is so well executed like that.
And it doesn't matter whether it's zone blocking, whether it's a power scheme. When you have a blocker on a defender and the running back can read it, find the proper hole, and just go, it's sometimes a thing of beauty.
A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
On 2nd down, here's Mixon. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive, they went 3 and out.
Here we go.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
12. 11.
And now they will throw it with Burrow. A quick throw knocked away and incomplete.
Well, they've been back on their heels a little bit here in this drive, but a chance to exhale just a little bit there with incompletion on 1st down. Now they have to gear up, try and get 2 more stops, and escape this drive.
On 1, ready?
Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10.
11 MT. 11 mighty.
Burrow going to give this to Mixon. And he'll be brought down at about the 42. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming. They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first.
11 Thomas. 12.
On 3rd down, Burrow. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. So a couple of 1st downs on this drive, but it's looking like another empty possession.
And those empty possessions are certainly starting to pile up. So the adjustments that teams talk about all the time have to be taking place. They've got to analyze what's breaking down and figure a way to fix it.
Punting now is Huber as he sends it away. Taken in at the 11. And he gets up near the 25 to about the 24 before going out of bounds. 13 yards the tally on the return there. And they will take over 1st and 10. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it. Forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize. Like going to the county fair, you don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material. Now a play fake. Here's Tagovailoa. They'll roll him out right. Throw right side, going to be caught here by Waddle. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. 24 yards the gain there. Another 1st down as well.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, but as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. And he's brought down at the 24 after a gain of 4.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short game.
From the 24, Tua completes it to the tight end, Smythe. Touchdown! Durham Smythe, his first touchdown on the year. And the Dolphins continue to pull away here in this first half. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And the route is on here in this first half. Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Bengals drive about to get going.
And Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, and this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated. But this defense is certainly organized and playing off of each other because the rush is providing pressure and the coverage is forcing incompletions and capitalizing on mistakes. When you get every level on defense hitting at once, you get first half scores just like this one.
Again, it's Burrow on 2nd and 10. And he rifles one incomplete.
Well, after incompletions on 1st and 2nd down, it certainly seems like a reflection of what we've seen so far in this game. The defense, quicker to the punch so far. Let's see if they can get something going here on 3rd down.
Here we go.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Now it's Burrow.
Got a man. It's Chase. He completes it. And he'll be marked down right at the 20-yard line.
Well, partner, that's how you make a long drive suddenly not so long anymore. One big play, and they're already in field goal range with designs on getting more than that.
So the field flips here as they'll go to work at the 20 now on 1st and 10. Out of the shotgun, they run with Mixon. And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 11 seconds remaining in this first half.
Here we go.
On 2nd and 12, Burrow. He gets this one to Boyd.
And they're going to get this down inside the 15.
And they'll burn the timeout with 5 seconds left. A chance to try to add 3 points before heading to the locker room. Now with 5 seconds left, not really enough time to run another play and then stop it. So on comes the field goal unit. And now they'll take a timeout defensively. After the 2nd down play, they burn the timeout, making them sweat out the final few ticks here in the 2nd quarter.
McPherson's kick is good.
And they get a little bit closer here as the lead's down to 3 touchdowns.
Well, still trailing here, but they do get the late field goal. Now their defense will try to keep this score right where it is heading into the locker room.
Yeah, and trailing it to break, you obviously don't want to go in off of a negative play. give them credit for that one. Finding a way to put points on the board, give them any type of a spark, anything to build off of as they try and plan a comeback.
So we've reached halftime here, and it's the visiting Dolphins taking a lead to the locker room as we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here. The Dolphins in front, and they'll be in possession of the football first as the second half gets started. From the 6. Oh, a dangerous return man showing it here. He's at the 40. Past the 20. And he'll bring it back all the way. Touchdown, Miami. I know a lot of special teams coaches, they just want to keep it away from him because that's what he can do.
And others have egos that their players can't keep up with. And they say, challenge him, kick it to him. The way he runs as fast as he is, I wouldn't challenge him at all. I'd do everything possible to keep it away.
He is just a blur when he gets a full head of steam, and he got a full head of steam there. Extra point up and good by Sanders, and that'll increase their lead to 28. So now the other return teams out there as they'll try to duplicate what they just saw. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25.
Here we go.
The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive.
CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history. That's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And, partner, you know, as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. It's Mixon on the counter. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. They give to Mixon to try to pick it up. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
On one, ready?
Burrow going to keep it himself.
And this will depend on the mark. I'm not sure he pushed the line forward. And indeed, he did not. They stop him. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And the Dolphins get the football in great field position.
Plenty of shouts from this crowd as they watch the replay. They want a challenge, and they're going to get one.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Mixon with a first down carry.
To about the 40-yard line. Not a whole lot there. The defense was ready, it looked, for that run-pass option.
You get the sense that next time he has that opportunity, he may keep it himself and get to the perimeter. Probably owes his back a little bit of an apology on that one, huh?
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Again, it's Mixon. And getting this just shy of midfield. They'll spot it at the 49.
60 yards rushing for him in the ball game now on 14 carries.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
A handoff running left, Mixon. And he's got some space here. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score.
Joe Mixon, his 3rd rushing touchdown on the year. And the Bengals are able to make some inroads here to that deficit.
Well, if they're going to make a game of this in the second half, they need a few big plays to go their way. That's one.
And the way to get it done is to also conserve time. So to your point, that big play right there, now you're not moving the ball downfield, taking time off the clock. You're leaving yourself a better avenue to continue to try and make a comeback.
And out a little across the 25 to the 27.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive.
The offense running out, and they are charged up, ready to go after reaching the end zone on their last drive.
And normally I'd warn against getting complacent just because they scored the last time out. But I don't think there's any worries with this group right now. This is a hungry group, and they want to keep building off.
There he goes, right side. And he will take it in for a Dolphins touchdown.
Raheem Mostert,
73 yards.
And the Dolphins are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
Extra point up and good by Sanders. And that'll push the lead up to 29 now. Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line.
On 1, ready?
The Bengals drive about to get going.
Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here, maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout.
Into a double team, and it's intercepted. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line.
Well, to be blunt, not a whole lot has gone right for this defense in this ball game, but that's something right there. Still in the third quarter, it would take something around miracle territory for a comeback, but maybe that's a start, Charles.
It certainly is, and they're definitely showing that there's some fight still left in them. Hasn't been a banner day, but they're trying their best to put that disappointment behind them and find ways to make plays.
Up the middle they go with Mostert.
And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line.
And the tackle there by Jermaine Pratt.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
Here's a give to Edmonds running to the right. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. Well, they need to get to the 29 if they want to pick up a first here on third down. Here's a toss play right to Mostert. And he gets it down a yard or two shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds. It's a gain of 5, but it'll lead to a fourth down. So on fourth down, Dolphin kicker Jason Sanders comes on. He was true on his first. This a tough one from 49 yards away. Sanders' kick is good, and the Dolphins will add on to their lead.
Well, the only silver lining on the other sideline, CD, is that they kept him out of the end zone, but still, that's another 3 points added on to this large lead.
Yeah, no shortage of scoring or big plays on defense in this one. And even up by 4 possessions, still finding ways to create opportunities and capitalize with points.
I'm fine, ready?
The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive.
Well, it's a game that they would rather probably forget about, at least to this point, Charles. And one reason is turnovers. The turnover on the last drive.
And now Burrow going to be intercepted yet again. Picked off Byron Jones. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line.
Well, it certainly feels like this defensive group has figured this guy out to the tune of a big lead in this one. And you know that he's frustrated with how this game has gone. And now with back-to-back interceptions, he's got to find a way to get out of his own head and start making better plays.
A run with Mostert up the middle. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Again, they'll run it with Mostert. And for one of the first times all night, he is going to go nowhere as they bury him behind the line. It's a loss of 2, now third down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
Here we go. Ready?
And on 4th down, they come up and take the knee. Though certainly not the way that they were hoping that possession would end, failing to convert on 4th.
And now they've got to make sure that they keep their poise, they keep their confidence. Just because it didn't work once doesn't mean if they get that same situation later that they shouldn't go for it again. The defense feels great, but the offense, they can't be despondent.
Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And he'll be taken down right around the 34 after a pickup of only a yard.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
Back to Mixon on 2nd down.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. They wind up losing a couple there, so they go behind the original line of scrimmage, and now 3rd and 11 coming up. On 3rd down, Mixon. And he's not going to get anywhere close to the marker as they'll stop him well short of the yellow line. 1 quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Here's Kevin Huber now, as he'll come on for his 5th kick of the night. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Looking up into the lights, and he muffs it. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, and that could have been trouble.
I know there's no magnet in the ball, but sometimes for the punt returner, After such a scramble, it sort of feels that way, doesn't it? He has it, he loses it, somehow the ball finds its way back to him.
Atoned for his sin, and you know he's taking a deep sigh of relief right now. On the ground, it's Mostert to start the drive. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8. The Dolphins on 3rd down, just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 8. Once again, it's Mostert, and he will not make it to that imaginary yellow line as they get him to the ground at about the 23. Call it a gain of 5, 4th down now.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
Here's Morstead now as he sends this one away. Taking it about the 36. They call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And the Bengals take over 1st and 10.
On one, ready?
The Bengals drive about to get going.
Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting.
And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Picked off Byron Jones. And they'll set up shop right near midfield at the 49-yard line.
But with this advantage, this defense knew that passes were coming, and they stayed in position, Charles, and picked one off here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, what a way to cap things off, huh? Because I think this is part of the game within the game. They see the scoreboard, they see what they can accomplish, and they went for it.
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Hey, it's not the most spectacular play, but I think most teams will take that every single time for the first play of a drive. Begin the series with positive yardage and set yourself up for a very manageable 2nd down.
They go back to the ground, this time Mostert. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
Another good run for him. What else is new? That'll put him right at 150 yards for the game, so he's really made his presence felt in this one.
Here we go, set. Strike. Check, strike. Hey.
Trying to pick it up on the ground with Edmonds. Boy, no chance as he was met and dropped behind the line there. A 3-yard loss. 4th down now. Here's Thomas Morstead now as he's on to punt for Miami. Just a 30-yard punt that time. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10.
On one, ready?
The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive.
Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect 2nd half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the 2nd half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
On 2nd and 7. Burrow. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. Nothing on the screen that time. Now it's 3rd down.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down on the scoreboard, had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
Well, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively to snuff that one out. He's got his big tight end. That's Hurst. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. And that's good for a gain of 6, and it'll be 4th down. They'll try and run for it. And they will touch him down, but not before he gets the first. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. At first glance, I wasn't sure he got it. Then I saw that spot. Definitely a first down.
It was, but boy, on the other side, you dispute it a little bit, wouldn't you? Okay, if you're playing defense, are you sure he got there? But that's why they tell you all the time, don't just get what you need, get a little bit more, and take the decision out of the hands of the officials.
Oh, there he needed a yard. He got a yard and maybe an inch. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. A give up the middle to Evans. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It's a gain of 13, and the Bengals have a 1st down.
We'll definitely see some open running lanes, and he's taking advantage of it right now, but that shouldn't be a surprise. Defense has the lead. They're playing for the pass first.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So 2 first downs, and that moves the ball to the 42 now, 1st and 10. And they'll go right back to Evans. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line.
Christian Wilkins there defensively for the stop.
Well, it's hard to have vision as a runner and find a hole when there's nothing but defenders in your way. They stacked that one up really well. But give him credit. Instead of trying to bounce it out and turn it into a big play, which might have turned into a big loss, kind of just took his medicine there and took the 1 yard.
On 2nd down, Evans looking for space. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. It's a gain of 13, and the Bengals have a 1st down. Probably wishing that they could have had a few runs like that earlier in the game, now facing this deficit in the 4th.
Hard to criticize a run of that magnitude, but they really need those types of runs to go the distance and need bigger plays to try and get back into this one.
On 1st and 10, it's Evans.
The tackle made by Landon Roberts.
And when you get good yardage like that on 1st down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
The 1st down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. And they take a knee.
Well, this was a blowout supported by both sides of the ball today, Charles. It would be easy to look at the offense and say, man, they were clicking, and they were, but don't forget about the effort by this defense as well.
Yeah, they weren't going to let up just because the lead was safe. They wanted to play as big a part in this game as their offense did in making this blowout. They needed to be noticed as well, and they played accordingly.
So for Miami, they're on a nice early roll as they move to 3-1 with a win here. And they'll get a few extra days to get ready for next week, where they take on the New York Jets. Meanwhile, for the Bengals, they'll drop down to 1-3, and they'll be on the road next week for a matchup with the Baltimore Ravens.